Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Fantasy Life right here on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. We are so excited to have you with us for yet another day, another show. And we've got, as always, a lot to talk about because going into week 5, Adam, there's no boring things going on in the NFL. We've got quarterback changes. We've got quarterbacks that are hurt. We've got quarterbacks that are playing tomorrow that we don't actually even know if they're playing. So we could do this whole show today just on quarterbacks alone and all the drama surrounding it. But we're not going to do that. We're also going to do, stock watch, players rising, players falling, get some early rankings for week 5. So never a dull moment. How you doing?
Yeah, it certainly isn't. It's been a challenge for our fantasy teams early in the year, and especially this week with injuries popping up all over the place. I had players that we didn't know were injured, and then, of course, as you mentioned, the quarterback position making it bigger challenge in those super flex leagues and those where you start 2 quarterbacks. So we knew it was never going to be a smooth ride throughout the season, and we are just getting a lot of bumps along the way.
Yeah, to say the least. We knew we'd have to grind for those fantasy championships. It was never going to be easy, Adam. But I do want, if you have a team though, I got a screenshot yesterday from someone, no injuries, their team looks loaded. I said, how the luck that you must have. So if you have one of those teams that you're just getting by and you're listening to the show and you're like, don't have to worry about that, don't have to worry about this, send it in at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis, because I would love to shout you out and be jealous, to be honest, Adam. That's all I want to do is say how jealous I am of your team.
Well, I certainly don't have a team like that.
I don't either.
I mean, a lot of the guys are bench guys getting hurt, but it's important right now because again, the bye weeks are starting this week with 4 teams on bye. So I definitely have some challenges this week where I'm going to start some players that I absolutely hate, but I really don't have an option. And especially when you're in those deeper leagues, there's not much to replace off the waiver wire. I mean, this is probably one of the better weeks, even in deeper leagues. Again, the players that we're looking at are not, it's not like, oh, wow, I can't wait to spend 15% on Darius Slayton. It's nothing like that. But at least there are some options, players growing into bigger roles.
Man, I had Isaiah Bond go for $48 and $100 fab last night. It was crazy.
Yeah, and those
I thought my $12, I was like, ooh, I'm getting, I'm spending a lot here, but maybe I'll get him. But that's what you have to do in order to get these players to just fill in.
Yeah, that's the biggest reason why you're going to see, okay, number one, it's a very deep league, so there's not as many options. And then you have a lot of teams that lost Tyreek Hill, Malik Neighbors just this week, those guys alone. Then guys that are banged up that we're not sure are playing, and then add the 4 teams on bye. People are looking and like, damn, I have no one to start. I have to go spend money and get this guy off the waiver wire because I need him in my starting lineup this week. So I do think you're going to see some ridiculous prices if your waivers hasn't run yet. Obviously, there's a lot that run tonight. Some ran last night, as you alluded to, with that price on Bond. But I think you're going to see that this week. It's a week of desperation for many people.
But this is why we always say, and this is the one time I'll say it today. This is why we don't give up though. If you're sitting there 1-3, I mean, with these bye weeks coming up and these injuries, this is why you could be facing the team that just has really bad luck going into week 5. And then all of a sudden you got that second win, you're going into the third. And that's why you just do it. And so we're always going to work the waiver wire. Again, if yours haven't run, fantasylife.com. I've got my waiver wire article up and live. And I also updated it with a few more names as well. So you can go check that out. It's for deeper formats. It's for more shallow at the top there. So it's for everyone except for those. I got a message yesterday, Adam saying, do you guys have any advice for a 32 team league? I said, no, prayers, thoughts and prayers. I said, I couldn't even guess in a 32 team league who would be available besides free agents. That's crazy. You guys are sick out there.
Yeah, I've played in some deep leagues in the past, never 32 teams. I think that's where I'm like, you know what? No, I'll pass on this.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah, I think you were referring to one of my teams. Like right now, I just like.
Oh, I really wasn't. But
okay, because I have a situation where it's like
with GST.
That one is pretty bad too, especially if this Bucky Irving thing turns out to be worse than we thought. I don't have a good running back to start this week.
Your team couldn't have gotten injured before I played you. What are we doing? You had to to do it afterwards. Why? Which team are you referring to? I really wasn't throwing shade on any of your teams because mine are the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I have a team this week that has London on bye. I don't think Pearsall is going to play. I just lost Malik Neighbors. I have Rashee Rice, so obviously he can't go. Braelon Allen, who I just lost.
Oh
So I mean, it
no.
does have Woody Marks, but it is really hurting.
Yeah, that's
I'm
brutal.
probably gonna have to start Torrey Horton.
Hey, things could be worse,
I
to be
mean,
honest. The Bucks are really good. The Bucks have a really good run defense, so I think they're gonna have to throw the ball a little bit more.
they
It could be
do, but
worse.
with Horton, again, he's a really talented player. It's just the role is not what we want right now in an offense that doesn't pass a lot. And even with those touchdowns he had in week 2, week 3, he comes back against Arizona at 1 catch for 10 yards. Although they did throw a pass to him, a deep pass in the end zone, and it was a tough play. If he caught it, it's a touchdown, but
Yeah.
defender did a good job there. But, if he's not the ideal start this week.
No. He's very touchdown dependent.
Yeah.
And just kind of one of those big play guys. Kind of reminds me of how you were talking about Tesla earlier in the year. Where
Oh,
you're just
that's
like,
even
why?
worse.
I know you just don't.
No,
it
because he
always makes-
barely
no,
plays.
I know, but it makes me laugh.
No,
whenever bring him up.
I found that in the preseason, it was just hilarious how he kept
what are
moving
we
up and up.
doing?
And it's like, do we see Jamison Williams can't even sustain any consistency?
I'm crying.
And
You just make me
Laporta,
laugh.
like it's come on. Now
You make me
maybe
laugh.
at some point during the year, if there's an injury or something, maybe. But it's just like the way he was rising up draft boards and the amount people were spending on him, I was like, this is insane. I was like, am I missing something here?
Go back to the stats, go back to the tape, see what's going on here. So a lot of injuries, a lot of stuff that you just have to be prepared for here going into week 5. The first one is this morning. Woke up to the news. We got, or maybe yesterday. I think I saw it
was
floating around.
rumored.
Yes, it was rumored, and then you kind of take it and run with it. But this morning, totally confirmed. You got Dillon Gabriel, new starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns here. They went ahead and benched Joe Flacco. So. You get another one. Here you go, Browns team. What number is this? I was trying to look and I didn't have time. I think it's the 40th quarterback since in some time. It'll be 41st since 1999. Perfect. Maybe this one will be different here, Adam. But at 1-3, Cleveland is going with Dillon Gabriel over Joe Flacco. I'll just say this. I didn't think this would be the spot, to be totally honest, because this is not going to be easy for anyone on this Browns team, whoever they were going to go with, because they do travel tomorrow. They're getting on that flight. They're going over international game and playing the Minnesota Vikings and that Flores defense on Sunday, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time kickoff. We knew this was going to happen eventually. I think everyone knew that Joe Flacco was not going to be the long-term answer there. And so at some point they were going to turn to someone else, and Joe Flacco did not look good in that last game. Was not the guy that we saw a couple years ago where we said maybe you're going to get some magic out of him. Maybe David Njoku will step up, all this other stuff. But yeah, Joe Flacco just wasn't doing it. He had the 3 turnovers, just 1 touchdown. They lost 34-10 in that game against Detroit. So yeah, it turned into Dillon Gabriel, left-hander Dillon Gabriel. I like it. Why not?
Yeah, Browns have been on Tinder for years trying to find their quarterback, and the swipe's not going well, so they have to continue to search.
It's tough.
Flacco he's been
since
terrible too
1999.
this year. He's
been.
dead last in 33 qualifying quarterbacks in completion rate, yards per attempt, passer rating. They're averaging 14 points per game. So we all knew this was going to come at some point. It was just a matter of when. It's kind of interesting that they do it now, as you said, going to London to face the Vikings, who have been, first in pass defense DVOA. So yeah, it's a tough spot for him, and it really doesn't change anything for the Browns. I mean, Judkins is the one guy you feel good about, but they don't have anyone on this team with a 20% target share. So they've been spreading the ball around. Now, sometimes we do see the quarterback come in and maybe they focus on one player, but I don't see it here. Both tight ends are hurting each other. David Njoku and Fannin, he had that big week 1. Everyone got excited, and he's on the field, but they're both cutting into each other. Cedric Tillman goes down. He's on IR with that hamstring injury. But we did see Isaiah Bond last week, and you talked about him in deeper formats. He'll be picked up, but it's not a good situation still for the Browns. So yeah, I don't think this really changes anything for the rest of those guys. I don't think you
No.
felt good about starting any of them at this point.
I was gonna say, unless you're in those deeper formats, I don't know if you were starting these guys. I still like hanging on to the tight ends and everything. I don't know if now that I'm not looking at David Njoku as trade bait before that November 4th deadline, because we've talked about that and mentioned it, that he's in that final year of his contract, but they do have Fannin. So you like you said though, they're eating into each other's workloads, and yeah, it's kind of just everything I think stays the same here because we just have to wait and watch. I went back because I talked a lot in the offseason with Thor Nystrom. We did our college football show and just kind of breaking down some of these players coming out of college, what we can expect in the NFL. The unfortunate comp is a poor man's Tua Tagovailoa, but maybe that could be better. I don't know, Adam. We've seen weirder things happen, and again, this team, we knew that they were not just going to stick with Joe Flacco unless he gave us that magic that brought him to the playoffs a couple seasons ago. But we just didn't see that from the beginning. So when Thor Nystrom wrote up about him, he has, he's a lefty with physical limitations, but he said he is a timing passer. He's going to run your scheme for you. He's going to throw you a soft catchable ball, and he just kind of bounces around naturally. He manipulates space and finds throwing lanes. So again, we've seen it before. Odder things have happened, but I just think this is a really tough spot for anyone to go in. International game going up against this Vikings defense that's going to be hungry to show you a good time in the NFL. So again, you said it though. I think for rankings, I might keep everyone the same or move them down just a little bit. But yeah, Dillon Gabriel, I guess if you're in those super flex formats, you might as well if you need someone desperately, Adam. But it's probably better to keep him on the bench this first week.
Yeah, I do have one super flex league where I am desperate, so I might have to
Need to
put
pick
in
him up.
a bid tonight. There was another league where he was available where I was fine and someone acquired him. So yeah, look, in eh, these two quarterback super flex leagues, there's been injuries at the quarterback position. Well, Lamar Jackson just went down. I mean, someone might be forced to spend some money on Gabriel and pick him up just to get a body for the next couple weeks. So yeah, it is. It's one of those years in the Superflex leagues where the quarterbacks going down have really hurt some teams that look good coming into the year.
I think, if I'm trying to do a positive spin, can you tell I need to be the one that does that? But I think, with Dillon Gabriel coming in, at least we know that the Browns offense will have a quicker pace because Joe Flacco was not bringing that. So you'll see him go a little bit quicker. And I will say this, he's an accurate thrower. He's got an above average arm. He's an accurate thrower from everything that Thor Nystrom has told me over the months, and he's able to process quickly. So it might be a surprise. I don't know. It might not be this game, but if they continue on with him moving forward, in really those deeper formats, my last question for you here, because I saw some of them come in at K Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis. If they're already making this move going into week 5, is it a good idea, more so in super flex formats, to just pick up Shedeur Sanders now in case they make another change midway through the year? Do you think you can wait on that?
It depends. I mean, I don't know if you have the roster spot now, but people will do it. I've seen people hold 4 quarterbacks in super flexes. I've even seen some hold 5. So
5 is crazy.
yeah, I've seen it.
I don't like
I
that,
guess
but
it's more so too when you have like the bottom of the barrel and you're just
mm.
like, hey, I need someone to come through, so they'll hold them. Uh, so I think you will see some teams do it. So it depends on how much roster space you have, because again, with the bye weeks coming and all these injuries, it's tough.
No, it definitely is. You're going to be in a hard spot for some of these coming weeks. So you just have to be ready and prepared. Again, Dillon Gabriel going to be the new starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. 41st starting quarterback since the franchise's 1999 return to the NFL. What a fantastic stat. Not for anyone, but it's a fun one. You mentioned Lamar Jackson. This was again a rumor yesterday, but I think it got confirmed because it was going around from the Baltimore Sun. But I noticed that none of the, quote unquote NFL insiders or anyone like that had said anything about it until this morning. But it looks like Lamar Jackson, they are considering him to be week to week. And the initial report that he is that he was not going to play this week, and he was going to miss, it looks like 2 to 3 weeks, which again is not good, Adam, because we were waiting to hear any kind of good news going on with him, and it just doesn't look like it. So at least for now, Jackson is likely to miss Sunday's game against the Texans, and again could miss 2 or 3 weeks according to the Baltimore Sun. That means it's Cooper Rush time, and we downgrade everyone because of it.
Well, then just a little while ago, Ian Rappaport did say, as you said, more week to week now, and he's going to try and play this week. That's what he
So
said.
that's what I was confused about last night because I was looking for more of these reports because I saw the Sun come out with it, and then I said, okay, no one else has really confirmed it yet. We got to do our journalistic duties here, but I think if you still have Lamar Jackson though, you have to at least have a backup quarterback on your bench just in case. Could you not see game day come up and they just say, you know what, he's not good to go? It's another one of those warm up things. I think you still just have to be careful.
Yeah, you do for sure. And you always want to be prepared because say your waivers didn't run yet, you see this report, oh, he's going to try and play this week. All right, cool, I'm good. Well, we know how that can work out. So, yeah, I think you just want to have someone set in place. Obviously, the Ravens are in a lot of trouble right now. They have so many injuries on the defensive side of the football. And the line has flipped too. The Ravens were 3.5-point favorites. I'm seeing the Texans are favored by 1.5 in Baltimore. So I guess that leads you to believe that Lamar's not playing. But let's see. Maybe he'll surprise us.
Shocked.
Yeah,
I would be. Here's the thing. This is where the practice reports are going to become so crucial this week, right? That you need to have him try and log a limited practice at least, right? I mean, I would be surprised if he goes out there, but again, we know this team though on the other side of it, Adam, they need wins. I mean, you're getting into dangerous territory where you're looking around and saying, "Wow, can we actually do this?" And they've been in this spot before and kind of similar to the Chiefs. I think we look at a team like the Ravens, like the Chiefs who go down sometimes early in the season and we say, "It's going to be okay. They've got the personnel, they've got the coaching to really come back from it," but it's always going to be that uphill battle. So, I could also, I guess, see on the other side that Lamar knows he needs to be out there in order for this team to have a good chance at winning. So I would still just be careful. Pick someone up just in case.
yeah, and they host the Texans this week. Then they're home
What
against
time
the
is
Rams.
that
Then they have a
game?
bye.
Oh, okay. See, that's why I thought when I saw week to week, I figured he would just wait till after the bye week to be able to come back.
Yeah, that
But
was
they
the
can't lose that many games.
no, they can't. Again, I think they still, if they can get healthy, or especially if Lamar does miss time and get him back, I think they still have a chance in the division just because it's so bad. You just can't have the Steelers run away at 3-1, and they have the bye this week.
So they're the early morning slate as well. The Ravens are at home taking on the Texans. So I mean, if you're looking for other quarterbacks, some streamers that I had written up, I mean, it's disgusting. But if in case Lamar goes out there, you could still look at the Carolina Panthers. I think that's an option for you. I honestly don't hate the idea of Sam Darnold this week as well. I think that if he's available out there, that's an option. If you're in some of those more shallow leagues, Matthew Stafford as well could be an option for you. But yeah, just go pick anyone up, I guess, if you can. Not Cooper Rush though. Don't do that. There's better options in my opinion.
Yeah, and then it gets pretty bad at the bottom. That's the only problem, and
Yeah.
it's getting taking 4 quarterbacks away from the bye. So yeah, it is going to be tough.
Last one. We'll get into this actually. Let's break down Brock Purdy because that game's tomorrow. Unsure. Where are you leaning right now with him? You think he plays in that game tomorrow?
I'm going to say no.
He said he was hopeful his toe wouldn't keep him out versus the Rams, but we'll break down that news, go through more quarterback streamers that you can go through because that's just where we're at heading into week 5. And I want to break down some of the other running backs as well, just running back utilization that I think we need to really highlight, talking again about Emari and Hampton, looking at Quinshon Judkins and some more here coming up next. This is Fantasy Life right here, joining you on this great Wednesday. Not great. Don't even look at your starting lineup yet. Just have a great Wednesday. Check it out tomorrow morning. Don't see who you have to start this week. Have a little bit more peace in your life. And then you can maybe look later today, Adam. Have a nice dinner, sit down. Then you can ruin your mood by looking at who you have to start this week. Yeah, it's not good.
Too
It's not
late.
great.
I'm telling you, some of these
look
lineups
every
this
day,
week
you're
are
fine.
absolutely depressing.
I know. It's not going to be good, but it's for a lot of people it's not going to be good. So at least we can live in the fact that it's not just us suffering. It's mostly everyone, except for the people that have sent me their screenshots, which again, very jealous of, by the way, because I have seen some that are a pretty healthy team. I saw one from Kenny sent one in, got Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, Chris Godwin just came back, CMC, Hampton, Bowers. Okay, Bowers, I think will step it up. Maybe he's still hurt still. And then Travion Henderson, you hope to step up. But when we're talking about injuries, that looks pretty good. Knock on wood. Shout out, Kenny.
Yeah, some people get lucky and they avoided this injury bug. I definitely am not one of them. I can tell you
No, it's
that.
not us. But that's the fun part of it, Adam.
No, it's
You have
not.
to work for it.
This
Yes,
is not
that's the
fun.
fun part. I'm having a blast.
Really? In
I'm
these
having a
leagues
great
with
time.
20 roster spots,
No.
what are you finding on the waiver wire?
Oh, nothing. I think I'm spending $800 on Darius Slayton this week. Maybe the Vikings backup running back has some. I don't even remember his name. What's his name?
Sirius Scott?
Yeah, him. Maybe 250 on Xavier Scott. Ick. I don't spend that much. I'm totally kidding. But this is what we sign up for. And so we just have to roll with it and it's going to be fine. I will say the last update that I saw just from yesterday was that it looks like Brock Purdy said he's hopeful that the toe won't keep him out against the Rams. Again, this is just another conversation. You can go to fantasylife.com, check out the quarterbacks that I have that you could potentially stream. But if you have Brock Purdy, be prepared to play someone else potentially. And if that doesn't happen, then perfect. You have a Thursday night game. You're going to know before kickoff. That's the good part about this. So either Mac Jones, they said Mac Jones is good to go now. He's able to stop. Oh, you almost.
I'm
Though,
gonna
I
get
will
you.
say,
Watch.
that was pretty close. I was a little bit off my game there because we haven't talked about him. But yeah, that's just the last update I wanted to say. But that's another quarterback that you have to be paying attention to. I really don't hate if Matthew Stafford's out there. That's going to be more shallow formats, but I think Stafford would be a really good guy to pick up going against San Francisco if Brock isn't good to go.
Yeah, if he is out there for sure. But hopefully we'll know by today, maybe.
Today.
I think at least on a couple of those players for San Francisco, we might get a couple of them ruled out today.
Okay, this is now we're just totally changing the conversation here. But when we're talking, I know we talk all the time about, all right, go pick these guys up. You have to, to be able to survive this week, especially with the buys, with the injuries, go pick these guys up. Who in your mind, and again, totally pivoting, droppable players? Like I don't think we talk enough about maybe players that it might not feel good, but you might need to drop them in order to make room on your team. And sometimes it just has to be those rookies. But I was looking the other day, and I think this was last week, so didn't count the double header Monday Night Football game. But like I dropped Pat Bryant, didn't feel great about it. But that's someone.
I think that's kind of an easy one.
I think Cooper Kupp.
Oh yeah, I would have never drafted Cooper Kupp.
Okay, but
I'm just saying.
Did draft Cooper Kupp or picked him up off waivers. I mean, I know those are easy ones, but there are so many guys, and you guys can send us these questions too because we'll go through them. But I think it's just as hard sometimes to figure out who you need to drop. And if they just haven't given you production recently, you go look at the utilization report and they just haven't been getting the targets, haven't been getting those targets per route run, anything like that, then they are droppable names.
And sometimes you'll have one where you regret it because we've seen many times through the first 4 weeks of the season, a player doesn't perform and then starts to get better, whether it's week 5 or week 6. And you look back, and you're like, why'd I drop them? Again, right now, it really is challenging with all of these injuries being thrown our way. We were talking about there are teams that lost Tyreek Hill and Malik Neighbors on the same team, right? You could have Ricky Pearsall on that team and he might not play. So there's so many injuries right now that you're just searching to get players in your lineup this week. So you're going to have to make some challenging decisions, especially if there's no IR spots. And you might be forced to, you might be stashing a running back that unfortunately you might have to cut this week and someone else picks them up and they go off. And you're going to sit there and look back, why'd I do that? But again, it's all about finding enough healthy bodies to put in your starting lineup this week. Because again, I know it. I'm going to be challenged in a couple weeks and starting some players that I really don't want to, but don't have a choice with the buys and the injuries.
Yeah, it just gets brutal out there. And you said it. We all make the decision sometimes. It happened. I remember yours last. Jalen. Who was it last week?
Which again,
you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything at the time, and especially when Chris Godwin and Mike Evans went out, he had opportunity. He didn't do it initially, and then later in the year, he had that stretch. So, again, there's only so long you could hold on for a player when he's not contributing, and then the bye weeks hit, and you have injuries. So you'll always have regretful drops. It's just part of the fantasy because uh, you have to make tough decisions, and we get them all the time. I'm already starting to get them this week. Like, I have to cut one of these guys, and I'm like, I don't want to cut any of them, but if you have to cut one, this is the one.
Yeah, it's just brutal out there, but there are going to be times, and we've all listen, it happens every single season. I'll drop someone the next week, they just start to shine, and you just have to sit back and laugh a little bit and just say, all
I
right,
mean, think
well,
about it. I guarantee you, there is someone before last week's game that cut Woody Marks.
oh, for sure. Because
There's
why
no
would I
doubt.
keep him? I mean, if you
And
weren't, yeah.
And now that is a painful one, though, because like the
I would
immediate
cry.
week, now he becomes like a guy that you're like, yeah, I want him on my, I want to put him in my starting lineup.
I'd cry on that one. That one's brutal, but we've all been there and we all go through it. Speaking of guys to not necessarily pick up, but we have to look at next man up mentality. And that's where we might have to be looking for Tampa Bay. Speaking of these running backs, right? I mean, Tampa Bay and Bucky Irving so the report yesterday was from Mike Garafolo, and he said that Bucky Irving is, quote, gathering medical opinions on a potential foot/ankle injury. We didn't even know at the time, Adam, what he was getting those scans for. We had no idea what this injury could be. But I guess in that week 4 loss to the Eagles, he still played a full game, but he hurt his either foot or ankle, whatever it may be. And he underwent an MRI on Monday, and now he is still getting information on his injury. If he misses time, if Rachaad White is out there, pick him up. And if Sean Tucker is out there, pick him up as well. Again, horrible situation if you have Bucky Irving, but a handcuff situation like this is what comes into play here. And so hopefully you have the backup. And if you don't, those are really good guys to go and stash, even if you don't have them, because the potential for them to step up into a bigger role, if he does even just miss a week, that's going to be big.
Yes, it is, and I have been holding my breath, waiting for this because if I have to assume he's going to be out this week. Because we're not really getting any information here. So I am in big, big trouble in our GST league. My starting running backs this week are going to be absolute trash. So I'm just hoping that this is not long-term for Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say I hope he plays this week, but based on, again, we really don't have any news, but going for an MRI, it doesn't sound great.
Getting a second opinion.
Yeah, but second opinions rarely work out, you know?
Yeah, how'd it go for Terry McLaurin with the second opinion?
Not good, and we still don't even know what's going on. So, we don't really have any details. I mean, there's a video going around of when they think he got hurt, and it could be an ankle, but we really don't know at this point. So, yeah, you're right, Rachaad White. I don't think he's out there. In any league I play in, he's not, but then Sean Tucker will be next. But we've seen Rachaad White. Good pass catch out of the backfield. Hasn't been great between the tackles, but I think he gets most of the workload. So he would be someone that you could definitely put in your starting lineup this week if Bucky Irving's out.
Yeah, I mean, and Irving, it's just such a blow if he is out. He's a mid-range RB1. You look at everything that he has. His utilization score is great, 25.5 point performance in week 4. It's 71% rush share. So a lot of things open up if he is down. And I will say the other one, just to mention, since we're on running backs, is Braelon Allen. He did sprain his MCL, and he is, I believe I saw he's heading to IR, right?
That's what they said. Yeah, I'm waiting for them to put him on IR so I can put him in that IR spot.
I hate when they do that.
Well, because this one I understand.
Eventually it's going to happen.
Well, this one I understand because they officially have not done it. The report is it's going to happen. Yeah, I just wish the team would just do it right away.
Exactly. But again, deep sleeper, or I guess don't sleep on Isaiah Davis as the new RB2 in this role. Again, we all know when you, or if you don't, when you get placed on IR, you miss a minimum of 4 games. So again, Breece Hall is still the lead back. That is not going to change. But oh my gosh, it can't happen. Please, injury gods, don't let it happen. If anything were to happen though to Breece Hall, then Isaiah Davis would step in, and it wouldn't be just him. But again, we always like to go for the new RB2, and that would be Isaiah Davis with this Braelon Allen news.
Yeah, and they've been using multiple backs.
Mm-hmm.
So, Davis should get some work. Again, we have the bye week, so you might have to fill him in. And then, of course, we have to keep an eye, too, on Trey Benson now, too.
Oh, I know. I picked up Demercado was it last week? Yeah, last week, as just a kind of the consolation prize because, of course, Trey Benson was picked up everywhere. But
it might be Michael Carter, though, as the lead back.
Can we not?
Benson's out. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's
It's tricky.
It's pretty bad right now.
That's a good name to know, though. I mean, if guys are still floating around out there and you're looking at, I mean, the buys, especially with these 4 teams out again, if you haven't looked yet, it is the Chicago Bears, the Packers, the Steelers, and the Falcons. Good running backs in those groups that you're going to be without. So that's another good name to know. I hope we get news eventually. Again, this is why the Thursday, Friday practice reports are so important for these players and for us, so we can figure it out.
Yeah, and we say it all the time. Tuesday and Wednesday, we find out players that are injured that we had no idea during the game. You know, because Bucky Irving finished that game and played well, but sometimes, you know, adrenaline or the swelling doesn't go up yet, and then later that night, the next day, you start to feel it. So that happens quite often, and we're seeing that now, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Let's talk about good things. How about that? Can we do that?
There are good things?
Well, a little bit. I think there are. We're
there
doom and gloom
are.
the last couple of days. We have to go through some good things. Well, red flags, green flags. That's what I wanted to hit. So we might hit some red flag players going into it, but I want to shout out some of these guys that we're seeing a little bit of green flags from them. We didn't talk yesterday, and we mentioned we would, but I do want to talk about Mason Taylor for the Jets, looking at Tyler Allgeier as well, maybe a little Stephon Diggs. That's all positive. We're going to do that here coming up next. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us on this Wednesday, getting you ready for week 5. Still breaking down everything that we saw in week 4. And just talking with you through your lineups at Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. Nothing like, I'm looking through some of mine, Adam. Nothing like picking up Jake Browning, hoping he would give us the 2023 version, and nothing like picking up Trey Benson, maybe not playing. It's brutal out there, but we're going to go through red flags, green flags here, because we have to talk about at least some good green flag guys that have shown us a little bit of something here. And I want to start with actually Mason Taylor, because we said we were going to talk about him yesterday, and I know I didn't get to him. So Mason Taylor had 5 receptions on 7 targets, 65 yards in that loss on Monday night, going up against the Dolphins for the Jets. And this was his best game through 4 starts. Again, we know that he is a rookie. He's a little bit younger, got banged up in the preseason in training camp. But anything you see here that maybe we see a little signs of life?
Yes, because, he could be the second target in this Jets passing game. Now, ideally, the Jets passing game, we know it's not going to have a lot of volume. They really want to run the football. There will be some weeks, though, where they're playing from behind, or a week like this week where they can actually put up points. The Jets' offense was not the problem on Monday night. They averaged more than 7 yards per play. They just had bad penalties and turnovers, but they were able to move the football, and this is another spot against this Cowboys defense where they should be able to. So, yeah, I think that we will see potentially more targets for him. Because, again, look at that receiving group. Outside of Garrett Wilson, there is nothing there. So he could be the second guy. Again, it's not the passing game that's ideal because, with Justin Fields, he's going to run. Breece Hall is going to run. Braelon Allen was getting a good amount of touches. That'll be Isaiah Davis now. But that's what this team wants to do. They want to run the football. But I think as a tight end, too, Mason Taylor can't help. I think there'll be people picking him up this week.
Yeah, I agree. Again, you like what you've seen, at least in this last game, especially with the target share increase, and that's been actually happening on a weekly basis. So it's good to see kind of the utilization coming together. You see it put all together in this stat line, though. Again, 5 receptions, 7 targets, 65 yards. Not going to blow you out of the water, but it is still a really good line to look at when you're looking at some potential guys that could come up in the coming weeks. So I like the call out there. I will say we mentioned the Broncos game and that doubleheader that we had on Monday. But do you think RJ Harvey's a green flag right now? He's someone I've also seen going around where people are like, hey, is it time? These are obviously more shallow leagues, but is it time to drop RJ Harvey? Do I have time to continue waiting? J.K. Dobbins is still going to be the leader for that backfield, first running back that they've had with Sean Payton to rush for 100 yards in a game. But I don't, and so this isn't to say that RJ Harvey's making a move to the 1A, 1B situation, but I do think that if you can still have patience with him, we know that Sean Payton has operated, a full backfield with multiple backs. I think I'm still holding on to him, obviously, in my leagues, but it was a better effort that we saw going into that game on Monday.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to take out of that game because they just dominated and they ran so many plays. I think it was 80 plays. They basically had the ball the entire game. And now He was involved early because
Mhm.
as someone who had J.K. Dobbins, I was like, what the hell are they doing? Because Dobbins was not getting a lot of touches early in this game. Like they came out and they were passing a lot. So as I said yesterday, I think Peyton was like, we have to get Bo Nix going. So
Mhm.
this is the time to do it. So they came out and passed a lot. And then obviously in the second half, I think when they said, hey, we can get Dobbins to 100 yards because we haven't had a running back do that for the 37 games in a row. So let's do that. And they got to 101. So it's kind of misleading though, because all right, Dobbins had what 17 touches and
Yes.
Harvey had 18,
18.
but they ran 80 plays and they were in control of the game. So I don't know if we're going to see that split every week. We all hope that Harvey's role grows because he's a rookie and they drafted him and, he could be explosive in the passing game. He had 4 for 40 and a touchdown, and he was wide open on another play that maybe he could have taken to the end zone. So I think it's a good sign, but it's not often you're going to run 80 plays in a game. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure if we can just say, all right, he's here, he's arrived, he's turned the corner. It was a good sign, but I want to see it in a game where it's more competitive and they run 60, 65 plays. Like, what is the distribution between the two? Because to me, Dobbins has looked good. You could say what you want. We all
Oh
get
yeah,
excited for
Dobbins
these
has looked
rookies.
good.
He has looked good. And it was the same thing last year. Of course, he did slow down as the season went along, but he's averaging 5.7 yards per carry right now. He
Mhm.
scored a touchdown in 3 of the 4 games. So he has helped you every single week. He's not heavily involved in the passing game. We know that. Just 7 targets in 4 games. So he is kind of dependent on the touchdowns coming through. But yeah, it's really difficult for them to kind of go away from Dobbins at this point. So uh, I think I would like to hold Harvey, and you hope that his role grows.
Yeah, I think hold. I agree with you though, where it is a little misleading, but and he has not technically arrived yet, so we're not saying a 1A 1B situation because I'm looking. Half of his touches came in the fourth quarter, and they were up what 8? I mean, at that point, 18 points against Cincy at some point. So so that means 7 carries, 2 receptions. Shout out to the Athletic for pointing that one out as well. But you did like the highest offensive snap rate in week 4 that he had, so you just continue to sometimes see the utilization grow. But like you said, J.K. Dobbins looks good back there. So nothing is going to happen yet until we see a change. Again, went through Mason Taylor. Tyler Allgeier is going. They have a bye this week, so this will help no one. But I do think that Tyler Allgeier, once they are back, he is not going to be a bad bye week filler. When we're talking about RB2s on their own team, Bijan Robinson, everyone knows listening, he's always going to get his. I mean, he has handled the 7th most touches among running backs. I'm talking about Tyler Allgeier. And he's kind of carved out a little bit of a role. Do I think it happens every single week? No, but with these buys coming up and sometimes it just getting a little bit gross, I think that he can be a really good guy to set into your lineups if you're really in a pinch because he's shown that he can have this role, not next to Bijan Robinson, but right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, look, there it really depends too of the game script. So as we saw in that one week where they got blown out by Carolina, he had 2 touches. So that's kind of an outlier, though. You don't expect them to lose 30-0 very often, but every other game, the 3 other games, he had double-digit carries. So
Mhm.
I know those with Bijan Robinson get frustrated with him. I do have Robinson. It's more frustrating when you see Algier get like a series near the goal line. You're like, really?
Yeah.
Come on. But that's what they're gonna do. He has 2 touchdowns. And yeah, with the bye weeks coming up once he returns, especially if the game script shows that it'll be competitive or they're up big, yeah, you can, put him in there and hope that he gets you a touchdown.
Which they should. I mean, so again, bye week this week, so you can't do anything about it, but it'll be competitive when they come back. They're at home facing the Buffalo Bills. And then they are on the road facing the 49ers. Who even knows who's going out there for the 49ers in 3 weeks, but we'll figure it out. And then, you talk about blowout situations, maybe against the Dolphins. That's their October 26th game. So there are some good ones coming up. But yeah, Tyler Algier, I feel like we secretly, not even secretly, but just quietly every single year, he kind of puts these numbers up which makes him one of the better handcuffs in the NFL. If not number one, I know it changed a lot this year when we were talking about Zach Charbonnet, looking at Walker and everything else like that. But I do think that this is why he's one of the best handcuffs in the NFL, because sometimes he does hold value to you when you're in a really tough spot.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
true. Here's a report on Bucky
Great.
Irving.
Is it good or bad? Oh, it's bad then. Bucky, go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is from Greg Allman. Not looking good for Bucky Irving, who had a boot on his left foot and was on crutches at
Perfect.
today's walkthrough.
All right.
Great.
Sean Tucker, you're up. Rachaad
Yeah.
White. I'm only saying Sean Tucker because that's going to be the more likely person that's available.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason you're listening and Rachaad White is available, he is first on the priority list. Kind of just like how we talked about Wan'Dale Robinson yesterday. I mentioned more Darius Slayton because I'm assuming for everyone listening that Darius Slayton's going to be more available, but it's Wan'Dale up top, then Darius Slayton, and that means also it's Rachaad White up top and then Sean Tucker. But they both hold value this week if he's not good to go. For sure. I don't know what it'll look like, but I mean, you know that Rachaad White's going to catch more passes.
If I remember correctly, there was a game last year, and I think it was mostly Rachaad White.
I can look at the utilization report. I'll do it in the break because there was one game. Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out once we're in this break. Let's continue on. Maybe some red flag players that we have to look at here. It's going to be interesting with Cooper Kupp. I've seen some questions here, and Jawan Johnson as well. We're going to go through those red flags here coming up next. We are right here with you, Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you on this Wednesday, going through all your questions. Going to start taking your phone calls here. I'll throw out that phone number, 888-963-2682. We could probably do a whole show, Adam, of just questions, comments, concerns. You're shaking your head. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be great.
It's not, but okay. You could keep thinking that way. It's just getting worse by the day.
By the minute, really. We
Yeah.
just got bad news on Bucky. So it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be great. You want me to read another team that someone sent us that is looking good? Or no? No, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I'm going to get angry at them, but go ahead.
I don't care. I mean, these teams look really nice. I mean, they're just staying healthy. Adam over here, other Adam, said, might be jinxing myself, but started out 0-2. Now I'm 2-2 and rolling. Knock on wood, because we're not going to jinx you. But Baker Mayfield, Emari and Hampton, Nico Collins, Tyler Warren, Quinshon Judkins, Derrick Henry. That's nice. That's nice. We can live through everyone listening to us. I guess
they're going to have to at this point.
Again, if you are just joining us here, Bucky Irving, looks like Adam said that in a report, you did not report it, but in a report that you read, that he is in a walking boot and on crutches. So again, that means you go out and get Sean Tucker and Rachaad White. Rachaad White is going to be the one that you look to first if he is out there, because he's going to be the one with a bit bigger role there. Any other injuries? Are you sure?
There'll be more.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that while I was talking, something else didn't happen. I did want to continue going through, some red flags that we just have to consider here. I did see that Dwayne wrote up Kyren Williams in the utilization report, which is live at fantasylife.com, but just an underperformer, I think is what I want to say. Not necessarily a red flag, but this is why we've been saying that Blake Corum is someone to definitely go and pick up, because over the last 3 games, they have given Blake Corum a little bit larger role than we've seen in the previous couple of seasons. So it's nothing amazing. I know some people might be in a tough spot where they just say, oh, maybe I have to start Blake Corum, but it's one of those things where also it didn't happen until week 2 now that I'm looking at it. And over the last 3 games, Williams has an attempt share of 64%, averaging 16.3 attempts per game. And that's down from last season. He was at 19.5 per game. So it's an interesting shout out.
Yeah, look, the volume has still been there for him every week. He's had 19, 22, and 16 touches. So it's just that last year it was even a little bit more. Like, he didn't have any running back cutting in. So Blake Corum just taking away a little bit, and only 8 receptions through 4 games for Kyren Williams. So that's a pace of 32, 34 receptions. It's very low for him, and only 2 touchdowns as well. That's the one thing. When the Rams get to the red zone or near the goal line, they throw, which is why Devontae Adams gets a big boost there. They brought him in, and I figured he was going to get more of the red zone looks. Puka Nacua, it doesn't matter if he scores touchdowns or not, because he's going to have 10 to 15 catches every week.
Yeah. Speaking of not getting much of the targets. Still, Alvin Kamara. This is why we've kind of talked about what this team could look like here after the trade deadline. If there is an option for him to go, I think that the Saints, depending on where they're at come November 4th, they do take that option into consideration. But this is all to say, Kendre Miller is another guy to just pay attention to, because Alvin Kamara. It was even talking with Ian Hartitz about this on our fantasy live show that airs on Mondays on YouTube. But he was saying how surprised he is in the passing game that he just hasn't been getting that much. So again, it's all to say that Kamara is still going to be the guy in this offense. But yeah, he's looking to record his first 100-yard rushing game since it's of the season.
He has 13 catches for 49 yards in 4 games. And this Kellen Moore, his offense, they don't throw to the running backs. You would think with Kamara that you would find a way. It's not happening. It's been bad.
I don't know what we're doing. I don't know why you wouldn't get Kamara more involved in the passing game, but that's just me, and that's why I'm not a head coach, Adam. Neither are you. So
you're too positive to be a head coach.
That's true. I'd be like, you guys are doing great. Look at you.
As they're 0-4.
As they're horrible. Yeah, I'd be like, keep your heads up. We're going to go to the water cooler next. Oh, it is about that time. We are here in the water cooler Fantasy Life on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you today, taking as many phone calls as we can here. And I know there's probably going to be a lot here, Adam, because it is just a weird injury-riddled week, and we've got buys coming up this week as well. So 888-963-2682 is the phone number to call in, or you can press that new call-in button on the Sirius XM app. You can also send us a message if you're at work, doing whatever, a little bit busy. Send us a message over there on X as well, at KValenzuela17, at Adam Ronis, and we will try to get to as many of those as we can too, because now I'm more jealous of people sending in their lovely looking rosters. I already said Adam, shout out to Adam, other Adam. Shout out to you too, Adam. But
yeah, thanks.
Adam that sent in his his lineup here. Steve has a great looking one as well. And yeah, there's been Buddy has, you'll see it when you log in, but those just look amazing. But I know a lot of people aren't as fortunate, aren't as lucky going into this week. So again, week 5 is going to be one for the books. We just had an update here a couple minutes ago, just in case you weren't with us when it happened. It looks like per Adam Schefter and everyone else, Bucky Irving again was spotted wearing a boot on his left foot, using crutches to get around today. Sounds like he'll be unavailable, unlikely to play going up against the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday. What you said, foot sprain, right?
Yes, that's what Adam Schefter reported. And then we're seeing more news now here on Trey Benson. This is from Adam Schefter. His status is in question near the end of the game against the Seahawks. He banged his knee. It's not thought to be serious, but his status for Sunday is now in question.
Okay. Where do you want to start? Let's finish up with the Bucks. We've talked a lot about the Bucks today, but again, Bucky Irving dealing with a foot sprain, spotted at practice, crutches and a walking boot. More than likely, expect him, if he's in your starting lineup, expect him not to be there come Sunday afternoon. So make sure you go to the waiver wire again. Rachaad White is oddly available in Yahoo leagues. Again, that's probably 10, 12 teamers more shallow, but he is only 49% rostered. So if you're looking at how you divvy this up, it's Rachaad White, no questions asked, and then it will be Sean Tucker. Both of them should have a role, and even it's probably going to be more Rachaad White there. We've talked about him in the passing game before as well, but that's what you can expect from him. But both look like they could be startable in a pinch this week, especially if the injury bug got you.
Yeah, White, again, like you said, rostered in a lot of leagues, but maybe some more shallow formats he's out there, and then Sean Tucker in deeper formats. So Bucks also dealing with a lot of offensive line injuries as well. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge out here this week.
And then for the Cardinals. So again, this just came through. Trey Benson looks like his Sunday is now in question. They're going up against, I don't even actually know who they're going up against.
Isn't it Tennessee?
Is it Tennessee?
Yes, they are home against Tennessee.
Love that for them. Well, it looks like Trey Benson again banged his knee up in that game on Thursday. It is not thought to be serious, but his status for Sunday is now in question. So then the next man up would be Emari Demercado, and then Michael Carter.
Yeah.
You think? I mean, it would be Emari and then Michael Carter there. I don't We haven't seen this. So again, I don't know. I think Michael Carter is good in those deeper formats to just pick up and have just in case. And then after him, if we really need to go there, it's Bam Knight. But it really would be Emari Demercado getting more of that work.
It could be Carter as the
You
main back
think?
and Demercado as the passing back. It could
Okay.
be. So
Uh, have we seen this? I don't even think I have utilization on him or anything on Carter.
I'm trying to remember if because
Because last season it was only James Conner that went down that one game, and it was a big Emari Demercado game. I think he had at least one
it
touchdown.
was probably the last game of the season, right? Because Connor was
Yeah.
kind of banged up in championship week and tried to go out there and wasn't good.
Yes.
So yeah,
And
week 17, Michael Carter had 17 carries for 43 yards. Actually, in the game against the
mm,
Rams where he got hurt, Connor was not effective. Carter had 13 for 70 and 2 for 11. So let's see that week 17 game against San Francisco. Yeah, it was Carter
okay.
was the lead in the backfield, 17 carries.
So would you would rather Michael Carter if you had both out there, right? Let's say you have both out there in a league and it's Michael Carter, it's Emari Demercado. Would you rather Michael Carter?
It looks like he would be the
Okay.
lead back with Demercado on passing downs. That's my guess.
Yeah, your guess is as good as I see the 2024 game logs, and I'm taking out the one from January 5th, but 13 carries for 70 yards and then 5 carries for 18 going up against Carolina. That was both in December 22nd, December 28th. And a little bit of receiving work too, actually, here for Michael Carter. 5 receptions off 5 targets for 30 yards, and then 2 receptions off 2 targets for 11 as well. That's a good shout out. It's
Yeah,
brutal.
it's going to be fun with these lineups this week.
Hey, I mean, that's not a bad player to go and get if we know that he's been involved. You know what I mean? Could be worse. No, it
Hmm.
probably couldn't. Don't let me say that. Come on. I don't know. Be careful. Be careful out there. Bucky Irving looks like he again. Just to update you, it looks like he is not going to be able to go, and Trey Benson is questionable going into it, and we'll have to just pay attention to that one. You're leaning on this. I can tell you're leaning on the side that Trey Benson's not going to go.
Look, whenever you see this, you always have to assume that these guys are going to be out. So I would be prepared to be without them.
All right. Anything else? Well, I
Yeah,
guess
everything's good.
no, everything's fine. Everything it's the fire meme with the dog sitting there. It's like everything's fine. Everything around us is on fire. But you can get through this. You can get through this again. Just to hit the news that we hit off the top, Dillon Gabriel is the new starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. They are benching Joe Flacco. We said there's not much movement in the rankings. I'll go in and update mine after the show today. And then Lamar Jackson is going to try to play this week. Adam, that was the latest report that we saw, I think, from Rappaport this morning, that he was going to try and play. We've seen other reports saying that he might be out 2 to 3 weeks. No matter what, though, if you have Lamar Jackson, go pick up any other quarterback that you can to get that start potentially. Same thing if you have Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy said that he is hopeful his toe won't keep him out going up against the Rams, but we just don't know yet. So again, I think some streamer quarterbacks are definitely Jackson Dart, who we've talked about before. I think if you're in a more shallow league or if Sam Darnold's available, I don't hate that going up against Tampa Bay. It's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world, but I don't mind Sam Darnold going up against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then Matthew Stafford going up against the 49ers. I also don't mind that one as well.
Yeah, those are fine. I mean, Stafford coming off a big game hasn't put up big numbers this year for a guy that has Puka Nacua if you look at his QB finishes, but had a big game last week in his home against San Francisco, where they should be in line to put up a good game. They're favored by 6.5 in this one.
Yeah, and I know people might say, well, look at San Francisco's defense. They've held opposing quarterbacks to 172 and a half passing yards, 1.3 touchdowns, 13.2 fantasy points per game. But I'll just say that they've faced Sam Darnold, Spencer Rattler, and Kyler Murray. So I think we have to take that into consideration a little bit. Oh, and Trevor Lawrence. Almost forgot our guy, Trevor Lawrence. That's who they faced. So just, pay attention to that. I think deeper formats, where are you at, Spencer Rattler, Bryce Young? I think I would, if you really had to pick between the two, I think I'd rather Bryce Young, but I could be talked into either.
Yeah, I think they're kind of both similar. Right? I guess Bryce Young against Miami, right? The Giants could
Yeah,
create some
you would think.
pressure. I mean, Young has not been good though. I mean,
No,
there was hope that maybe he would improve based on the finish to last year. It has not happened.
there's still time, right? There's.
Well, we're running out of time.
Oh my gosh, brutal. Again, the phone number 888-963-2682 to call in. I see some questions coming in as well on X, so appreciate you guys sending those. We'll get to them at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis. Let's just keep going here, Adam, with the injury news to make sure everyone is up to date. As always, fantasylife.com. You can go and sign up for our newsletter. You would have gotten all this news this morning and every single morning, 7 days a week in your inbox, 100% free. Use that code SXM20. Also gets you 20% off any tier 1 or tier 2 Fantasy Life Plus subscription. Just switching gears, talking about the Panthers. I saw that quote from Canales. Did you see that about Chuba Hubbard? And the usage that they had in week 4? He said that Hubbard's calf injury, quote, wasn't a factor in how reps were divided in week 4. Is Chuba Hubbard someone that stock is going down a little bit as we continue on throughout the year?
A little bit, yeah,
Okay.
for sure. You don't feel as good about him as you did draft day because I think you were expecting him to get most of the touches in this backfield, and we are seeing Rico Dowdle mixed in a little bit. And again, the offense has been pretty bad too. Hubbard has no rushing touchdowns. He has 2 receiving touchdowns the first 2 weeks, but yeah, I mean, last week was kind of discouraging. So yeah, you are a little worried about that.
I don't think we're at Rico Dowdle flex play yet, but let's see what the split looks like this week, and maybe we start to consider him in those deeper formats as someone that we maybe close our eyes and start here. A couple other of the injuries that I wanted to make sure we hit: Cedric Tillman, who we mentioned a couple days ago, he is actually going to be placed on IR eventually. Adam's hoping it's today so he can make his moves on his roster, but it is that hamstring injury. So when you're placed on IR, you're going to miss a minimum of 4 games. That means Isaiah Bond, especially more so in those deeper formats, not the 32 team leagues that we've been tagged in, but some other deeper formats, the 14, 16 teamers. Definitely someone that you can go and look at is Isaiah Bond. Again, we don't know what to expect with this team now that you have Dillon Gabriel as the quarterback, but you always want to take the next man up mentality. So it would be Isaiah Bond there. And then Braelon Allen is also likely heading to IR with the MCL sprain. So if you're looking for any kind of backup here, right, Adam, then you just have to keep going. Why am I forgetting who's the Jets backup to Braelon Allen? We were just talking
Isaiah
about
Davis.
him. Thank you so much. We've been talking about so many injuries that I just kind of get all the names confused. But Isaiah Davis, I think that's it, right? Is that good for injury news?
For now, it seems like, again, as we just continue throughout the show, more news is dropping. So again, we go through this every year. There's always like a week or two where it's just injuries multiply and then the bye week. So at least the next 2 weeks, only 2 teams are on bye.
Yeah,
in
there
week
we go.
6 and 7. So
Adam.
there we go. There's your positive news.
Wow. Everyone clap. Everyone be excited. I was shocked that you were going in that direction. You're right, though. Only a couple teams on a bye in week 6. It's the Houston Texans, Minnesota Vikings, and then week 7. Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills. It's fine.
The Bills are the tough one.
Yeah.
Ravens too. I mean,
Ravens, yeah. Then little Derrick Henry, little Lamar Jackson. If he goes out there, we'll see. I'm not going to continue talking through injury news. We're going to go take some phone calls. We're gonna get positive here on this show. So again, at Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. If you have any questions, let's head out to the phone lines now. Though, let's go out to Troy in shout out California. Troy, what do you got for us?
Hey, so first of all, I want to say, my Chargers 3-1, but we'll get over that. We ain't too much worried about it. And then, so I got Chase Brown, Travis Etienne. I'm looking to make a trade for a receiver. I feel like I'm kind of running back heavy. I got Chase Brown, Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, and Emari Hampton. My receivers are T. Higgins, Nico Collins, and Deebo Samuel.
Mm.
And I was thinking of going and trying to get. I know he out for the season, but this is a dynasty half-point PPR, and I was thinking about trying to get Malik Neighbors for I don't know, maybe like Travis Etienne in another piece or something, or another pick.
Yeah, well, especially because
just
it's so
like looking at the future.
So you're not playing
Yeah.
for this year, like your Chargers? I'm just kidding. I like the
Get
Chargers.
out of here. I'm not associated. Troy, I'm not associated with this.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm messing around.
But it
with
is a good question. Are you trying to win now? Like, do you think you have the ability to win this season, or is it kind of like at this point in the year you're trying to just like punt and get some of these guys like Malik Neighbors?
I mean, looking at some of the other teams that I'm going up against, I think I got a fighting chance for sure. But I'm not. I spoke with you guys like a couple months ago. This is my first draft, my first little what's the name, and I'm 4-0 right now. So
well then, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, Adam, and that's why it's so difficult with dynasty leagues. Is it really is a lot of self-reflection, because you're not only thinking about this season, and it's not just one and done, and then you can wipe your hands of it, clean slate going into next year. You really need to reflect and say, okay, can I win this season, or do I need to start piling up draft picks for next year, 2 years down the road? Because that's how you build a dominant dynasty team. But if Troy's 4-0 and you need receivers, wouldn't you try? I would try for like someone like Rashee Rice at that point. Someone that you don't have right now, but Malik Neighbors won't do anything for you right now.
He's look, I tend to look at it this year, especially if I feel like I have a team that can win. So, I mean, he's a little light at receiver. I mean, he's got some good running backs. I mean, especially if you can start Etienne, Dobbins, and Hampton every week, that's solid. Obviously, Chase Brown has taken a little bit of a hit here. So I'm assuming he has solid quarterback and tight end as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't like trading. Like, I was expecting to be like, oh, I'm 1-3, I'm 0-4.
4-0.
Then I could say, all right, fine. You feel like again, Dynasty League, in a redraft, you're always going to play it out, and I've seen 0-4 teams make the playoffs and win championships, so you're never out of it. Dynasty, obviously, it's a different story. You take stock of your roster, you look at it, and you, like you said, you got to be realistic. Hey, can this team win? So I wouldn't make the trade for Nate. I wouldn't be trying to get Neighbors. I would be looking to get a piece that could help me now.
Ryan Thomas Jr. I mean, it's not good, but you could buy low on. You
probably could, yeah. But then again, it is still
now.
Dynasty, and I'm sure if someone has them, they're confident. So, but you never know. Everyone's different with emotions, and maybe you can get them.
Yeah. I like that though. You don't go throwing shade on the Chargers with Troy. I mean, come on.
Every year I would pick the Chargers to do something and they never do. So I am rooting for the Chargers. That was a disappointing loss to the Giants though, because I had thought, all right, this Chargers team has finally turned the corner. So that was a bad loss to the Giants. But no, I actually root for the Chargers. I would like to see them have success, especially this week since they're playing the Commanders. So I hope they destroy them.
There we go. Appreciate you calling in, Troy. Hey, keep us updated, because I do remember you calling in a couple months ago with that first league. And I mean, you don't remember that? Dynasty? We never get Dynasty first-time calls.
You're just trying to make them feel good.
You
don't remember.
I've got a great memory with the callers, with our people. These are our friends. What are you talking about? But call us back with some updates there, because 4-0 is a nice place to be. Let's continue on. Let's go out to Angel in Ohio. What do you got for us?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I got a trade offer right now in a 10-man PPR. I got offered Jerry Jeudy, Chuba Hubbard, and Tyler Warren, and I would be giving up Pittman, Benson, and Henry.
I mean, I think I got the whole thing. It sounded
I got
terrible.
It. You want it?
Wait, so he's being offered Jeudy, right?
Jeudy, Chuba Hubbard, Tyler Warren.
And then Pittman, Benson, and Henry?
Yeah, Benson and Henry.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal of this. I mean, Tyler Warren's great to get, but
not for Henry. I mean,
yeah, Jeudy. Pittman's been really good. Now, again, we just heard word of the Benson injury. Might not be serious. It might be 1 week. He clearly is, going to get a bigger role. Derrick Henry obviously has not looked great. Part of it has been game flow, where they've been playing from behind.
Yeah.
You figure if Lamar Jackson does miss time, that they're really going to rely on Henry now. That could help the defense as well, because they're going to probably put 8 in the box and say, all right, let's go, Henry. Beat us. But nah, this does
I don't
not
like
seem like
it.
a good trade.
No, and this is someone that's trying to buy a buy low offer on Derrick Henry right now, which I know if you're sending out that offer, we we applaud it. But if you're getting it, you don't want to take it. So I would say no on that one. But appreciate you calling
I'm
in.
assuming based on that trade
Yeah.
offer, he really needs a tight end, and the other guy saw it and said, "All right, I'll give you
Said,
Warren, but
here's Warren, but give me everything that you have." Don't do it. Do not do it. I don't like it. Let's keep going. Let's get through another one here. Let's go out to Nick in Idaho. Nick, what do you got for us?
Hey, what's up, guys? I got Kamara, Judkins, and Benson. I just need to start 2 of them. I know Benson might be injured, so I guess if that's the case, it's a pretty easy decision. But
Yeah,
well,
it might
I'm
be
kind of panicking on Alvin Kamara.
I know, and we just talked about this one, Adam. The lack of him in the passing game is really just bringing it down a little bit. But Nick, you might not have to even worry about making this start sit decision. It might be made for you because we don't know yet with Trey Benson. If Trey Benson were good to go, Adam, would you still go Kamara, Quinshon? I think it's Quinshon Judkins no matter what.
I would go Judkins, Benson.
Okay, if Benson is good to go, not Kamara.
Yes.
All right. You think he gets better there for Kamara? I don't see light at the end of that because
I don't see how it gets better unless he gets traded because, again, that was the one thing. If you were drafting Kamara, you were saying, okay, we know they're going to be a bad team. He's going to catch 4, 5, 6 passes every game like we have seen. Mm-hmm. And it is not even like 13 receptions for 49 yards. That would be one game last year for Kamara. And I'm pretty sure, didn't he have one like that? We're going to look it up real quick. No. Okay. It must have been 2 years ago. He had like 7, but he had 68 receptions last year and he missed the last few games. So he was giving you that high floor every single week. You are not getting that now at all. We know he's not going to score a lot of touchdowns in this offense. So yeah, it's pretty bad for Kamara right now.
I almost don't want to look at the splits from our utilization report because I'm sure it's bad. Just comparing last year to this year. But it's not good. But Nick, Trey Benson again, just pay attention to the game logs. This one might come down. Do you think this comes all the way down to Sunday, Adam, for Trey Benson with the knee? Or do you think we know earlier?
We might know Friday.
Quinshon Judkins, Trey Benson, if he's good to go. If not, then Quinshon Judkins, Alvin Kamara. Appreciate everyone calling in here and sending in those questions. We are definitely going to get to you there as well. But we're going to continue on and hopefully not mention any more injuries that we have to talk about here. We are going to go through stock watch, though. Who's going to go hard? Who's going to go home for us heading into week 5? Want to break down Drake Maye's looking pretty good, though. Dallas Goedert, Romeo Doubs. We're going to do that and more here coming up next. Do we just start recapping White Lotus or something? Maybe talk baseball the rest of the way so there's no chance that we have to give any more bad injury news and updates? Maybe.
That definitely would be more a positive direction for sure.
We could preview my Mariners team for the Saturday game. We could just do that the rest of the way. I'm sure we won't get phone calls or
I'll be rooting for them.
Start talking about. Oh, thank you. Well, it's like, yeah. Who else would you root for? Well, anyone facing the Yankees. We know that.
Of course. And I'm not rooting for the Phillies.
Oh, it's going to be a great game. I'm so excited. We won't do that, though, because I know that we are a fantasy football show, so we're not going to do that. But hey, just all this to say, if you've missed parts of this show, if you're just tuning in and out, just make sure to go check those injury reports because there has been a lot that we've broken down today. But fantasylife.com is really the best place to go and see what's been going on, especially in our newsletter. So make sure you're heading over to the waiver wire. Even if your waivers have run already, there are still going to be some really good guys to go and get. We're going through stock watch here, Adam. Go hard or go home. Again, always fueled by the bold flavors of Mike's Hard Lemonade, the official drink of those who go hard for their leagues. So stock watch here, going hard or going home. Let's do something positive because Drake Maye has been someone that's been going hard for you week in and week out. And you just really like where he's at so far going into week 5. Leads the league with a 74% completion rate. You've seen him throw 7 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. And he's also scored and given you 21.8 fantasy points as a rusher and is currently QB5 on the season. So everything that we've seen so far with Drake Maye, even more surprising with the lack of weapons that he has, even though we saw Stephon Diggs step up last week, but he's been really doing it with not a lot around him again. And so I just kind of want to applaud him. And I figure you're going to say that he's going hard instead of going home.
Hell yeah. I'm just so mad because I loved Drake Maye all off season. And when I go and look at my redraft leagues,
You don't have him?
one, and it was, remember our
Oh.
last draft that beat out of Ronis League in the FFWC. I said, I am getting Drake Maye this draft. I don't care what I have to do because I'm tired of not. I have him a lot, I think, in best ball. But when I went through, because I had him ranked like QB8 or QB9 going, I was very high on him. And obviously, right now, looking at 6 points passing touchdowns, he's fourth in total points and points per game. He's
Amazing.
fourth also. So he's come through in a big way, and I'm just really upset that I only have him in one redraft league. So I guess I needed to be more aggressive, or maybe there were some other teams more aggressive than me, but I made sure in one of my last drafts, I am getting him. So of course, that's my best team.
Of course, naturally. It should be a good game this week too. That's the Sunday night game going up against the Bills on the road. But
Yeah, test for
I
them.
like it.
A test,
I like it.
a divisional
Stephon
game.
Diggs, I mean, Diggs. I think we talked about him, but maybe
Revenge game.
You know what? 2 touchdowns. Who says no?
3.
Ooh, I like it. Lock it in. I just
He has
totally get it.
none, so he's got to get one.
He's got to get at least one, right? I mean, there are signs of life for the
Yes.
receivers for the Patriots, which again, great news for Drake Maye and then just for everyone on that team. But we saw season highs in route participation, target share, and air yards for Stephon Diggs, 16.1 fantasy points. Yes, I know. Don't roll your eyes. It was against the Carolina Panthers, but that's something that you like to see based on what we haven't seen so far this season. Someone that we thought, okay, he's coming into the season still banged up, an older receiver. I didn't think it would take this long for him to get to closer to 100% because we saw him practicing and doing a little bit more than like Deebo Samuel in the offseason. But again, he's coming off a bad injury. So I think, Diggs finds himself playing with one of the better young quarterbacks in the league, and that's obviously going to lift his floor a little bit. So yeah, revenge game. It should be a fun one. You're starting him.
Yeah, you definitely are encouraged with Diggs in the increase in route percentage, and had his best game of the year last week because even though he was ready to begin the year, it takes some time for these players to come off these injuries, and Diggs being an older player as well. So that was really encouraging to see out of Diggs last week. Even if it was Carolina, it doesn't matter. The fact that he went out there, had a 100-yard game, and was on the field more, really good sign.
Hunter Henry hasn't been doing it. I was hoping that he would do a bit more, but he's never been that high end target earner. He has 19% target share this season. Next closest is Kayshon Boutte, 13%. That is gross. So Stephon Diggs, please come forward so we can have better receivers for Drake Maye. Go hard or go home. Dallas Goedert, tight end for the Eagles. He's got to be in the top 5, right? Tight ends. Because it's so gross. Is he not number 1, maybe?
No way. Goedert?
What do you think? Where do you think he's at?
He has 3 touchdowns. He's probably in the top 10. I don't think he's top 5 in points per game.
I thought he was top 5. Check.
Actually, wow, he's 3rd? Damn.
Is he? I figured
in points per game in PPR.
Yes,
Damn, tight end is brutal.
It's been so bad. That's what I'm saying.
I know he had
don't know
3
if he's already
touchdowns and he's
#1.
only played 3 games, but jeez.
Yeah, no, I was looking a couple weeks ago because I said, what the heck is going on here? So, okay, Dallas Goedert, he's averaging 13.8 points per game. That puts you in top 5 territory, Adam.
That's 3rd, only behind. Oh, actually, what's crazy, it's really 2nd because if you look at points per game, he only played 1 game. Darren Waller would be 1 at 17.7.
Okay, well,
Ferguson at 15.5. Then Goedert at 13.8. Oh my! I would have failed that. I didn't realize that. I know he has 3 touchdowns in 3 games.
Who's 4 and 5? Is Tucker
McBride's
Kraft in
4,
there?
Hunter Henry's 5 in points per
yuck.
game.
Oh.
Wow,
Gosh, that's
crazy
disgusting.
with Goedert because
That's why I wanted to bring him up, though. Go hard or go home. 13.8 points per game gets you top 5 fantasy finishes so far going into week 5. I think he's due for a little bit of regression, but I've said that before about James Cook and look at how that's going. I mean, I don't know. I still obviously you have to rank him as a low end, mid range tight end 1.
no,
he doesn't
I
have a
don't-
great utilization.
I
score.
don't think you do. So I'm gonna say go home on this one
Okay,
because
all right.
he's been carried by touchdowns so far. We know this Philly pass offense, how brutal it's been. So I mean, just look at the last 2 games he's played. He has 5 receptions, 3 for touchdowns. Like, come on. Even, against the Rams, 1 catch for 33 yards. It happened to be a touchdown. So, no, I don't see this continue. I've always said with A.J. Brown and Smith healthy, like, there's just not enough in this passing game. They have been awful in the passing game, Philadelphia. It is camouflage because they are 4-0. But we've already seen A.J. Brown about to go nuclear. He is going to go off one of these weeks. He is so frustrated.
Hopefully this week, playing the Broncos.
Well, so you want to see him lose it? I'm saying he's gonna go off.
I want to see him get fantasy. Oh, I
don't think
fantasy points.
I don't know about this week. He's probably gonna see a lot of Surtain. So
okay, yeah, no, I thought you meant go off for like fantasy points. No,
I think. Look, if you're doing rankings, you're gonna rank Goedert 10 or 11 this week. But this is. 10. I could see him having he's going to have a game where he doesn't do anything.
But at some point, like, I have to stop looking at Travis Kelce. This is me reflecting. But, like, why would I not put Dallas Goedert ahead of someone like Travis Kelce who's done nothing for us? I mean, even in this game, it's going to be tough against the Denver Broncos. At some point, I have to stop looking at Travis Kelce and saying, well, it's Kelce, it's the Chiefs. I automatically have to put him at 8.
Season, but that's just
But, I mean, really,
topic.
if you're picking between Dallas Goedert this week and Travis Kelce, you wouldn't go Goedert?
The only problem is Kelce is likely getting more target. Look, and I'm not trying to back Kelce here. I'm just saying that, he's in a better position to get targets in his offense. Goedert, again, you're chasing touchdowns.
Zach Ertz or Dallas Goedert?
Goedert.
Yeah. Crazy. The tight ends are so gross. We've been having this conversation for a couple years now. The tight end landscape is just kind of sick. All right. Go hard or go home. Speaking of, or no, wait, are these guys on a bye? Hang on. I need to do my research before I put these in. Okay. Go hard or go home in 2 weeks. I really am just curious on your thoughts on Romeo Doubs, because you have the touchdowns, the 3 touchdowns last week. And I've seen people, okay, Romeo Doubs maybe becoming the wide receiver 1. I don't necessarily think this team has the alpha receiver 1 that Josh Jacobs wanted and was talking about over the offseason, but they are on a bye this week. But curious just overall what we saw in that game and just if you can expect things like that from Romeo Doubs going forwards.
No, you can't. So I'm saying go home. We've seen this too many times with the Packers. It's the same story. You're going to see a game where Matthew Golden goes off. Then there'll be a big Tucker Kraft game. He, for some reason, destroys Dallas and had 3 touchdowns against them. Still only had 58 yards on 6 receptions. So, no, I'm going to say go home. This is not something you're going to see consistently. He had a great matchup against Dallas, took advantage of it. We know Green Bay, that passing game is not going to be that prolific every single week. It was the easiest bet, Jordan Love over his passing yards last week at 234.5. He had 337. I don't know if you'll see Jordan Love with another 300-yard game this year.
All right, going home, but you can't use him this week, so he's definitely at home. Maybe do they go on vacation or something during their bye weeks, or do you think they just hang out? I mean,
I think some guys might.
Yeah, go on vacation.
So a short trip somewhere, maybe.
Well, that would be fun. Anyways, I don't know. I'm saying I'm saying my thoughts out loud. Okay, we're gonna continue on here. Actually, one question that I do see from Michael. Shout out for listening to us, for everyone listening to us. But the question is, assuming Bucky is out, where does Rachaad White move up in the rankings? I haven't done an update, but I mean, realistically, would we not move Rachaad White to like RB 33-ish?
I think higher.
Maybe even higher. 26?
Yeah, I think higher.
26?
I guess
would he crack the top 25?
We're trying to guess what they're going to do with Tucker. Like how much is he involved? But I would think that White's, I would say top 20 because he's going to be heavily involved in the passing game.
Yeah.
You might see Tucker maybe take away goal line carries. I would pick up Tucker in deeper formats, but I think it's going to be mostly Rachaad White.
Man, I'm looking right now. I'd have him ahead of David Montgomery. Would you have him ahead of J.K. Dobbins? Now I'm just throwing you on the spot. But like the range where I see right now is so David Montgomery, J.K. Dobbins, Woody Marks, Chase Brown. That's the 23 to 25 range. And
I'd have him higher
than all of them, right? Well, J.K. Dobbins is the one that I pause at, but
Dobbins is at Philly.
That's right. Yeah, never mind. Jordan. So then it would put him in the range of Alvin, Kamara, Kenneth Walker, Jordan Mason. That's our consensus 18, 19, 20.
Mason has the Cleveland run defense. I mean, you're probably going to look. This is a tough week. I have Jordan Mason. I'm playing
him everywhere.
But
yeah.
you have to understand, again, this Browns run defense, the only guy that has done anything against them is Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs is an elite running back, so I'm not surprised. David Montgomery, we talked about it yesterday with the guillotine cuts. Mm-hmm. I can't believe that many people started him. I have him in one league because I didn't want him, and I got stuck with him. I did not have him in my lineup for his big game, but there was no way I was chasing those points and putting him in my lineup last week against the Browns. He was on my bench.
I had to start him. I just had so many. I have the injuries. There's nothing I can do. Don't yell at me. No, I'm kidding. It was a brutal spot, though. Yeah, so we're going to put him, you'd put him top 20.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do a rankings update after the show, so I'll figure out where I'm going to put him, but appreciate you putting that question in there, Michael. Again, at Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis over there on X for any more questions that you have. And that was Go Hard or Go Home, presented here by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Let's do early. Speaking of rankings, why not just go through some early week 5 rankings right now to see where some of these guys are at going into week 5 based on their matchups. Want to talk a little bit more about Chris Godwin. Want to look to maybe a Tommy Tremble. We're going to do that coming up next. Oh, this is Fantasy Life right here with you on this Wednesday. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis, at Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis over there on X, getting you ready for everything week 5 in the NFL, kind of turning the page here, Adam, starting to go through some of the early week 5 rankings going into the week. And I know that also comes with maybe some potential start-sit questions. We know that it's early in the week, but it's never too early to be thinking about, being ahead, Adam, setting your lineups here. I see we do still have Sam on hold from Milwaukee. So let's, if we can, guys, can we go out to Sam in Milwaukee? What do you got for us?
Hey, good morning. Luckily, I've survived the injury bug, but I do have some people on waivers. So I need two flex positions. I picked up Malik Washington and Jalen Tolbert in waivers last night. And I also have Pearsall, who might not play, and then Ramondre Stevenson. So I need 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pearsall, the last that we saw, it's Pearsall, Adam, it's Brock Purdy and Juwan Jennings, all questionable for that game tomorrow. I would assume, and again, I don't know, I would try and look at, you probably won't have Pearsall, to be totally honest.
I am not counting on him playing. I hope he does. I have him in multiple leagues, but I've already basically looked at it and said, all right, he's not playing in my mind.
So
I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong too, because I also have him. I also have Juwan Jennings. I think they're both in the same place though, right? I mean, we can't expect it for Juwan or Ricky to go ahead and start there. So Pearsall, I will take out of this just in case, but I think he said Malik Washington, right? Or was it Parker Washington?
I think it was Malik
Washington, because that's Malik Washington is with the Dolphins, and then Jalen Tolbert, and then Ramondre Stevenson. I think Stevenson is one for me if we're talking about the flex that you start, and then
Malik Washington would be for me going up against Carolina.
Yeah.
I know, again, we did see Nick Westbrook-Akine play more snaps, but Washington is a player that they've tried to get to the football at times, and with Tyreek Hill out, I think it would be Malik Washington for me.
All right, sorry. I just saw, okay, it's, Adam Schefter said the Seahawks. Okay, never mind. That doesn't matter. I saw signing veteran running back Myles Gaskin, but it's to their practice squad for the Seahawks, so that's fine. Everything's fine. I get really nervous seeing any Schefter tweets pop up today, but appreciate you calling in, Sam. Yeah, I would definitely go with Ramondre Stevenson and then Malik Washington. We've got our projections live for the week as well. So if you guys have some of those early start sit questions, you can go to our start sit tool. And then I like looking at the Xfinity best scores, obviously presented by Xfinity there, but weekly projections 9.3 or 9.5 for Ramondre, and then 8.6 for Malik Washington. So it's going to be brutal. Some brutal starts and some brutal sits this week, but that's all right. If you have CJ Stroud, though, I think if we're looking at early week 5 rankings, I actually like CJ Stroud potentially if you need a streamer, or if you're, or if it's just that bad going up against a very injured Ravens defense, Adam. That's the one thing. Last week, even in that game when Lamar went down, came out in that third quarter, they were so banged up in that game already. And so I think that, not the best spot, but I do think this is a good spot where you could potentially see some life from CJ Stroud in this offense.
Yeah, this is what makes this game interesting because we're actually picking on the Ravens defense. Who would have thought that here at
Crazy.
week 5? They've allowed the third most fantasy points to the quarterback position this year. So, yeah, if
Wow.
you are in a desperate situation, I guess CJ Stroud could be on waivers and you could stream him.
I can't believe we're there. I really can't. I mean, I haven't seen updates yet on Humphrey because I know it was Humphrey and Wiggins were questionable after they exited early in that game with those injuries. But and then again, you add to the fact that they could be without Lamar Jackson. Again, the last report that we got this morning was that he's going to try and play. Has that line moved? Did you say that? Because I know that the Texans were 3.5-point road underdogs.
Yeah, when I last saw it, I'm going to double check now. I saw that the Texans were 1.5-point favorites.
Wow. So that means Lamar's not playing.
Yeah.
Well, they think Lamar's not playing.
Well, I guess that was too based on the report that he would miss 2 to 3 weeks initially. Remember? I think it was from the Baltimore Sun.
The Baltimore Sun. Because no one had confirmed that yet. So we were kind of waiting around.
So right now, the Texans are favored by 1.5 points on DraftKings, and the game total's 40.5. So that would lead you to believe Lamar is out. But again, that's not official yet.
No, but get someone else. If you only have him, especially in those ESPN leagues, 12 team, and we tell you all the time, if you get Lamar Jackson, there is no reason to go and get a second quarterback when you have a short bench. But now you have to go and you just have to turn around and say, all right, I've got an injury here potentially that could keep him out 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe he is good to go. But pick someone up if you can. And yeah, again, I do like CJ Stroud this week. I don't know. Where do I have him ranked? It's not, it's not incredible. It's not top. No, it's not top.
It's got to be like
top 15.
19,
I think I have him
20.
at 20. Yeah, I've got him at 20. So that's what I'm saying. It's not incredible, but still, you could go look to him. We're going to keep going because I have some more rankings updates for you going into week 5. Want to talk about Chris Godwin. Saw some questions on him and our expectations going up this week. And also, maybe some bye-week flex fillers. Say that 5 times fast. I don't know why I do that to myself when I type these out, Adam, but some bye-week fill-ins that you can look at as well. We're going to go through those names coming up next. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us here on this Wednesday. FantasyLife.com. That's where you can go. As always, check out our rankings, check out our projections, everything that you need with all the news coming in this week. And I'm sure, Adam, it's not going to stop there, but we got news on Bucky Irving earlier in the show. They did provide an update, Adam Schefter provided an update saying that the Buccaneers do not fear Bucky Irving's foot sprain is a long-term injury. The team considers it week to week. So again, oh man, if we want to recap all the injury news, we won't stick with it for too long. But if you're looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you're looking down at the depth chart, it is Rachaad White that you want to prioritize first if you are going to the waiver wire, and if he is still available for whatever reason, because he should not be, go and pick him up first. If he is not there, then you would go Sean Tucker, and Sean Tucker could have a role in this one as well. But that's the order, Adam, that you would go when you look for Tampa Bay Buccaneers backups. Wow. Woof.
Yeah, it remains to be seen how they distribute it. I definitely think we're seeing Rachaad White in passing situations. Mm-hmm. They might rotate the early down work with White and Tucker. Again, we did see one game last year where Bucky Irving left early and it was mostly Rachaad White. But again, that was the middle of the game. And we've seen White in the past before Bucky Irving emerged have big workloads. But we've seen flashes from Sean Tucker. So I'm assuming it's going to be mostly Rachaad White. They will mix in Tucker, but there might be scenarios where White is rostered in a lot of leagues in a deeper format. You might maybe pick up Tucker just in case. Because again, this could be more than 1 week for Bucky Irving.
Yep, sure could. And then the other one was the Cardinals with Trey Benson. So the last thing I saw from Adam Schefter was that Trey Benson, near the end of the game last Thursday going up against the Seahawks, banged his knee up. It is not thought to be serious, but his status for Sunday is now in question. This is going to be one where we just watch throughout the week, see what his practice reports and the practice updates are Thursday, tomorrow, and Friday as well. But again, Emari Demercado, and it was a good shout out by you, Adam. Michael Carter definitely has had some work before in this backfield. So if you're in one of those deeper formats, for sure, Michael Carter could be an interesting pickup. And then the guy after him would be Bam Knight, but Michael Carter has gotten work when he's needed to step up.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's going to be the primary back with Demercado on passing down. So yeah, Carter obviously is available, should be available in pretty
Yeah.
much every league. But again, that's the tough part with this is, we're trying to set our lineups for the week and you can't do it now, but you have to make these decisions on these waiver wire pickups for a lot of leagues tonight. Waivers ran in some other leagues already, but because we don't know, Benson could be out there.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
we're speculating right now and on these situations, and you want to be prepared just in case because Benson, you probably were feeling good if you had him last week, and then towards the end of the game, he gets hurt, didn't have a big game, and now you're like, great, I thought I had a lottery ticket, and now I have to worry if I can even start him this week.
Yeah, it's brutal out there. But you can go to the waiver wire though and pick up these guys again. It is important though, those drops as well. We've actually got a great article live at fantasylife.com about players that you can drop. But it's just one of those things where if you're really hurting it with injuries, Adam, now's the time where you might look back and it might be someone that really starts to come up, but you just have to make those moves now because you need guys that can give you fantasy production right away, especially for a week like this.
Yeah, this definitely is a challenging week with all the injuries that have happened. A couple of season-ending injuries with Tyreek Hill, Malik Neighbors, and then, of course, the bye weeks, and now the running backs that are starting to fall as we keep getting news on that. So, yeah, this is going to be a week where, look, if you feel uncomfortable with your lineup and you're starting some players that you don't want to, we're all with you. We're all doing it.
We're all together. It's going to be brutal, but we are here to help. So we will continue doing that tomorrow. Again, fantasylife.com. That's where you can go and check out everything. Utilization report is live. All of our rankings are updated for week 5 as well. And our projections. Sign up for that newsletter while you're there. And send us any questions you have. We'll try and answer them throughout the day as well. At Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis. Adam, we did it. Was it? We got to be more positive tomorrow.
All right,
That's what
time to go cry.
We'll do that. See you same time tomorrow.